that matter this season. 5 delicious bowls for just $5 each. Only at KFC. Prices and participation may vary. Buy glass. Taxes, tips, and fees.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Home Depot's new supply house is built for one job: deliver yours.
Oh, yeah.
And more than a store, our supply.
What up, y'all? Clippers up in Portland, second night of a back-to-back. Taking on the Blazers. We'll start your pregame show in about 2 minutes here. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Talk. See people coming into the chat here. Mio. To my knowledge, we'll have Law Murray on, but I'm not sure if we have a media member up there covering the Clippers to find out if we have or who the starting lineup is. Now that could come up. Okay, here we go. We at least got this. Lauren Rosen is there. We might not get the starting lineup anyways. Pregame, Coach Lou doesn't always give that away. So it might be a half hour before tip-off. Man was questionable for this ball game, but I haven't seen an update from anyone. Looking at Tomer. Let me check Joey Lynn. We'll have La Murray on pregame. He'll be on the phone. I do know Carlo's there. All right, we're going to start the show in about 30.
Hey, Carlo. Yeah, how's it going? Good to hear.
Yeah. You still have that Writing Dirty ad that plays every commercial. Mercedes Benz. We do have ads that play every commercial.
Welcome into Clippers Countdown. As your 22-17 LA Clippers are on the second night of a back-to-back and back out on the road in Portlandia, up north, taking on the 13-26 Portland Trail Blazers. You might think should be pushovers, but remember the Clippers actually lost to them already this season at home. Now, of course, that was back when the Clippers were struggling in Intuit Dome before they turned it into a fortress. They have won 14 of their last 16 games there, including an all-time franchise masterpiece just last night, a performance where they would devour a beat-up Brooklyn Nets team while the Clippers took a blowtorch to the Nets thanks to Kawhi Leonard.
As he wants some more, backing down Clowney on the left block, steps through, pops a jumper, rolls around and down. Leonard's got a dozen, and the Clippers are up 11. Kawhi Leonard slowly defrosting. Kawhi pushing the base into the front court, spins right shoulder, drives, steps back, a baseline jumper is perfect. Kawhi Leonard, crispy and clean, and the Clippers go up 90-38. Leonard straight away. Drives, pulls it back, crosses over, right elbow jumper, connects! Kawhi becoming an archer tonight and into it. 94-43 Clippers. Leonard has got 21. Leonard to the rim, the layup, high off the window and in. Kawhi can't be stopped. 23 points tonight.
Kawhi had 23 points in just 24 minutes as history was made last night as the Clippers had their largest margin of victory in franchise history, winning by 59 over the Brooklyn Nets with a final score of 126-67. Kawhi, of course, his season high with those 23 points, but there is no Kawhi Leonard tonight on this back-to-back. And the Clippers still have to find a way to win a ball game right now on 0 days rest, as the last 3 times in this scenario, they've averaged a 32-point loss. This will not be easy. Clippers and Blazers from Moda Center up in Portland, and tip-off is just about 57 minutes away. Coming up here in your pregame show, we're going to have Lob Murray on from The Athletic. Assistant Coach Brian Shaw will be here. But up next, it's your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers up in the Pacific Northwest, taking on the Portland Trail Blazers from Moda Center. Tip-off is just about 55 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. Still to come, you're going to hear from assistant coach B. Shaw, but first, from Moda Center, it's your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, how we doing? Long time.
Adam, it has been so long. I feel like I haven't talked to you, and every time I don't talk to you, Adam, in 24-hour spans, it's just a sad time. So the fact that I'm talking to you 24 hours later, I'm having a great time here today. It's good to hear from you once again here in the Rose City. Clippers with a back-to-back, the first of 3 in a row.
And the Clippers put themselves in a great position tonight after what occurred last night. They made a little bit of franchise history, winning by 59 points at Intuit Dome over the Brooklyn Nets. Final score 126-67. So they didn't have a starter play more than 24 minutes in that ball game, but just complete domination and annihilation to a degree I hadn't seen by a Clippers team before. What did you attribute it all to last night, Carlo?
It just came down for me, Adam, as they enforced their will, especially with Ivica Zubac in the painted area. Kawhi Leonard got going. I think James Harden was able to do some excellent work on the outside to create his own shot. The Clippers decided that they were going to play the serious brand of basketball that we've seen them play this season, and they were able to enforce their will on a Brooklyn team that was missing maybe their top 4 guys in that game after playing the night before here in Portland. And as we just learned, Adam, that is not a quick flight. And the Clippers got here about 3 a.m. Everyone hit the pillow. So I'm sure Brooklyn did not get much sleep the night before the game. I'm sure they had a long drive from Beverly Hills, and all those things mixed together with their top 4 guys out just seemed like the perfect storm for the Clippers. By the way, Adam, I saw this on Twitter earlier today. Obviously, you can't trust anything you see on Twitter, but
what if it's sad to follow Adam A, though? You can trust that.
That's true. At follow Adam A. The 10th worst loss in the NBA's history was that Clipper win. It's hard to believe, like to think we saw something that's only happened 9 other times in the NBA's history. But then you look at this box score, and when I read 126-67, I think, where's the typo? Like, there's just no way. There's a Brooklyn team that scored 40 in the first quarter the night before.
Yeah.
It took them to the third quarter, the middle of the third quarter, to get to 40 points. Yeah, I don't know. Good for Ivica Zubac, Norman Powell, Kawhi Leonard, Derrick Jones Jr. They set single-game career highs and plus minus, so I'm sure those guys are happy about that. But crazy one. Hard to believe it happened, really.
Yeah, it leaves you scratching your head a little bit. Obviously, no Kawhi Leonard tonight, but last night, that was vintage Kawhi, what we saw out there in those 24 minutes. He was getting to his spots. He was moving with some explosiveness out there. The behind the back to the spinning fadeaway on the right baseline is just an all-time move. He had one like that last season over the Suns with Grayson Allen guarding him, I believe, but this is what we've come to expect. When Kawhi is healthy, this is what he can look like out there.
A mid-range mastery from Kawhi Leonard in that game, Adam. I mean, his ability to get to his spot, to play at his own pace, and then get other people involved too. Finished that game finding guys on short rolls, finding Ivica Zubac underneath the rim. Felt like he did a great job of not just taking the game in and getting to his spot and scoring, but then also making the right play with the basketball. And as he talked about post-game, it wasn't about the shot making. It was about the movement for him. That's how he assesses the way he plays. And I think everyone who watched that game, or as we described it here on the radio, Kawhi Leonard hasn't moved better this stretch of 4 games that he has played. I mean, he looked so buttery smooth for that Clipper win. It was great to see him get involved. And Adam, anytime Kawhi Leonard plays the most minutes among the starters, I think the Clippers have a good chance of winning the game. That's what happened against Brooklyn.
We'll take that. He was aggressive from the outset as he was bringing the ball up the floor, playing some point claw out there. It kind of got him into a better rhythm, but it also helps out James Harden, which is something we've talked about. We knew coming into basically this season, once Kawhi Leonard came back, it would just alleviate a lot of the pressure, a lot of the burden for everything that James Harden has been doing so far for this team and that high usage rating. And you're seeing the efficiency out there from him and just an ability to take care of the basketball from the bearded wonder that we weren't seeing at times earlier this season.
You pointed it out during the game, Adam, but 1 turnover for James Harden in that last game. He hasn't had 1 or less turnovers since he didn't have a turnover November 17th against Utah. Not as much people double teaming, not as many people watching his every movement on the defensive end of the basketball. The attention now has to be dispersed to a 2-time finals MVP in Kawhi Leonard. Anytime you can bring a 2 times final MVP off what was Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing on the bench, but you bring him off the bench and into the ball game through the starting lineup, it's impressive. For James Harden, I think what was most interesting to me, Adam, is when he was asked post-game, what did you think of the Kawhi Leonard's play? He said, we need that every night. He said, we need this type of intensity, his efficiency, his ability to get to the glass, to get to the foul line. They need that every single night from the claw. And I don't think it was a performance from Kawhi Leonard, Adam, where anybody thought, wow, he played well, but that was a typical Kawhi game. I mean, and in reality, he was efficient. He got to the mid-range. He did things that, from other players might be considered spectacular, but for Kawhi Leonard, a spinning fall-away jumper on the baseline is cha-ching almost 9 times out of 10. So for the Clippers, you're starting to see what they could be. Ty Lue said, you can't assess us until Kawhi is fully healthy. And the more Kawhi gets healthy, the scarier the Clippers look out west.
Scary hours. Of course, the Clippers will have to get by without him tonight. They're up north, taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. Tip-off is just about 50 minutes away. Carlo Jimenez is on the call, but up next, he's got his one-on-one interview with assistant coach Brian Shaw. You're listening to Clippers Countdown right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers up in Portland taking on the Blazers. Tip-off is just about 47 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. Still to come, we got La Murray coming on from The Athletic. But first, we're heading back over to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez.
Thank you so much, Adam. Here with assistant coach Brian Shaw before the Clippers take on the Portland Trailblazers. Coach, a 59-point win in your last game after the game was tied at the end of the first quarter. What was the biggest difference for you guys after that first quarter?
I think the guys just got more locked in. That was a big part of it defensively. And we strung together a bunch of stops. Kawhi came back in the second quarter. We featured him a little more. They were starting to come and double him, which opened up a lot of things for us offensively. And then we just got into a rhythm and never looked back.
Kawhi was in a rhythm in that game. He had 24. How does the offense different when he's playing point guard?
It's very different because, all eyes are on him. And he has the ability to, draw 2 to 3 defenders in his direction. And even if they don't come and fully double him, they're usually tilting in his direction. So if our guys can play off of that and understand, that the defense is going to be concentrating on him and where that's going to open things up for them, then they can take advantage of that. And I thought last night we did that.
Do you feel like when Kawhi plays that point guard position, the spacing is optimized for the team?
Yeah, for sure. We know that he's going to get a lot of attention. We know that James is going to get a lot of attention, and they're going to help off the other guys that are on the floor, with either one of those guys. And so when the ball does come their way, I think the biggest obstacle or hurdle for us a lot of times is our guys get so dependent on James making a play for him or now that Kawhi's, back, that they just defer to them most of the time. And, we have to constantly reinforcing them that, you guys are good players. You're NBA players. You can dribble the ball. You can make plays, as well. And so getting them to understand that and then have the confidence to do it, is something that's a constant for our coaching staff.
Last one for you, Coach. But obviously you guys play on the second night of a back-to-back, but none of your starters played more than 24 minutes. From your playing days, how do you, if you can, quantify what it feels like to play 24 and then have a game the next day versus playing 32 and then playing the next day?
Yeah, it feels a lot better, and I think the guys will, particularly in the second half tonight, the guys that didn't play those additional minutes will feel that little boost of energy, have a little bit fresher legs. But trust me, it's not easy. Last night during the game, guys wanted to get back in. They're thinking about getting their numbers and what have you, which is, it's human nature. And a lot of times we have to protect them against ourselves. In a perfect world, as a coach, we will want for it to be that all the time, for us to be in a position where we can take them out and not grind them down too much. But, we'll see tonight how it works out.
Thank you so much. Best of luck.
All right, thanks.
We saw their pregame with Carlo Jimenez. Clippers up north taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Tip-off is just 43 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up next, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind, back to a matchup up at Moda Center from 2017. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. Tip-off just 40 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. You're listening to the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. This is Clippers Countdown. Coming up, your player to watch, and Law Murray of The Athletic will be here. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. Over 7 years here to October 26th of 2017. One of the greatest sequels was out, Blade Runner 2049. Bodak Yellow by Cardi B was at the top of the Billboard charts, and the Clippers were down late in Portland, and then you had their star to hit a big shot.
The game in the balance. Gallinari inbounds on the near side, across from the Blazer bench. Hunting for a white shirt, finds Beverly straight away. 4 to shoot, right wing over to Griffin. Now he's on the left wing of left-handed dribble. Fires a 3. This is for the win. He put it in. Hot damn! Hot damn! Hot damn! Oh my goodness! At the buzzer, Blake Griffin with a 3. Wow! And he walks off the court. Clippers are winners, 104-103.
You know it was a good night if you're a hot damn from Brian Seaman there. Blake Griffin with 25 in that game winner. Clippers would win 104-103 over the Blazers. Of course, Blake Griffin, in all time, Clipper great. Many won his jersey, retired first. That was back in 2017. Clippers tonight up at Moda Center, taking on Portland. Tip-off 38 minutes away, and up next, your player to watch here on Clippers Countdown on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers on the second half of a back-to-back after winning by a franchise record 59 points last night over the Brooklyn Nets, back it into a dome tonight. Clippers up north at Moda Center, taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. Tip-off is just 36 minutes away. Still to come, Law Murray of The Athletic and your injury report. But first,
this is LA Clippers basketball.
Watching this guy play right now is really something.
Players to watch.
Tonight I'm watching Norman Powell going up against his former team. I thought about going with Big Zoo because he has struggled against DeAndre Ayton. Norman Powell, he hasn't struggled much all season long. Last time out against Portland, he had 30 in the Clippers' 127-105 victory on December 3rd. There's something about going up against your former employer. Even in the game the Clippers lost at Intuit Dome against Portland back on October 30th, he had 30 against them. I expect him to go for 30 plus tonight after Norm Powell. The efficiency was there, but he only had 18 points. Okay, he only played 22 minutes last night when they were up by 59 and won by 59 over the Brooklyn Nets. So 18 points in 22 minutes, 7 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from distance. I expect him to get up closer to 15 shots tonight against the Blazers back in his old stomping grounds up in Portland. Norman Powell, my player to watch. Up next, we'll head over to your injury report, and then Law Murray of The Athletic will be here. Clippers tipping off just 35 minutes from now from Moda Center against the Portland Trail Blazers. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Blazers from Portland. Tip-off 32 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. You're listening to Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we got Law Murray of The Athletic. But first, let's head over to your injury report. Brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code KLAC to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. For the Portland Trail Blazers, Robert Williams is listed as questionable for tonight's ball game with an illness. Denny Advia, he is doubtful for tonight's game. Jeremy Grant will not play against the Clippers tonight. He is out. That's obviously a big loss for the Portland Trail Blazers that remain without Matisse Thybulle. He's a very good defender in this league. He's out with that ankle injury. As for the Clippers, no Kawhi Leonard, of course. It's a back-to-back. Get used to that. He's coming back from another knee injury on that right knee with the knee swelling. They're going to be overly cautious and manage it appropriately. No Terrence Mann, though. He's got soreness in his calf, left the game around the 5-minute mark yesterday in the second quarter, with the Clippers winning by 59 over the Brooklyn Nets. Coming up next, Law Murray of The Athletic will be here. Clippers up north taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers up north in Portland taking on the Blazers. Tip-off 28 minutes away. Second night of a back-to-back for your Los Angeles Clippers. First of 3 straight back-to-backs for them. Coming up, we'll go back to Carlo Jimenez, but join the show right now is La Murray of The Athletic. Follow him at La Murray, the NU on X. La, my guy, thanks for doing this. How we doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for having me.
Are you doing 59-point wins well? Because that's what we saw last night. The Clippers winning by 59 over the Brooklyn Nets. How do you assess a game like that? Obviously, Brooklyn is missing guys. Many say they're in the capture the flag sweepstakes. Was that just everything going right for the Clippers and everything going wrong for Brooklyn, or should we give the Clippers more credit?
I think it's both, because look, that game was tied at the end of the first quarter. So those are professional basketball players over there. I know Brooklyn had a lot of guys that didn't play, and they're not excessively talented team to begin with. So it's not to say that Cameron Johnson, Ben Simmons, D'Angelo Russell, Cam Thomas, Bojan Bogdanovic, who hasn't played all year. Obviously, the Nets have guys. You know, they traded for an injured DeAnthony Melton. We know what situation the Nets are in. We know what their long-term objective is. We know what that means for the guys that are playing and who is coaching that team. But those dudes came out and they challenged the Clippers. Like, Kawhi, as great as he was in the first quarter, like, the rest of the team was lagging behind Kawhi. The Nets, we've talked about this for weeks now, Adam. The Clippers closing quarters poorly, and the Nets closed that first quarter last night on a 7-0 run. And the Nets actually led the game at a point in the second quarter. And then there was a 65-point turnaround. So that, I felt like offensively, it was like, all right, that was a really good night for the Clippers offensively. That's the best defensive night that we've seen from the LA Clippers in, 7 years, like, by any team. Like, that is an amazing performance.
Yeah.
So I give the Clippers a lot of credit, because you're still playing against a professional team. We've seen the Clippers kind of, we're about to see tonight what happens. We saw them down 14 in New Orleans. We saw them, lose to the Trailblazers at home on the front end of a back-to-back earlier this season. That was an outstanding professional performance.
Are you confident, after seeing what Kawhi Leonard was able to do last night in 24 minutes, that he can get back to the version of himself we saw last season, where he set the all-time efficiency record over a 30-game period?
I don't want to put a ceiling on Kawhi. I think it's just great to see whatever progress we get and to sustain him. And so last night, again, you saw it early. You saw him get to his spots, play with pace, do things assertively that he wasn't doing in his first few games. You saw him, instead of running to the corner, running to the ball. He didn't look like a role player last night. He looked like a star. And to see him be able to not just start the game well, but to play his best basketball coming out in the third quarter, which absolutely was not the case in his first few games, that was outstanding. It was great. It was great to see that. And so you just want to see him do it against, obviously, not just better teams, but in hostile situations where he's got to figure some things out. Sunday is going to be a great test for that. The Lakers, they're not a good defense, but they have the bodies to at least give Kawhi different looks. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't want to really compare what Kawhi is doing now to the things that he's done before. I think this is a new version of Kawhi Leonard, and when you look at it that way, I think that's exciting.
So tell me if you agree with this, Law. I've been saying since they talked about rotating DJ and Chris Dunn, the starting lineup, that when Kawhi is back to playing 30, 35 minutes a night, the point of having Chris Dunn in there to have another ball handler is lessened, because Kawhi can bring the ball up the floor. And we saw that a ton to start that game. He was basically playing point guard for them last night. Do you think that means long-term DJ will be the guy in the starting lineup?
Well, I told you, I felt like that was the starting lineup anyway.
Yeah.
I felt like it made sense that Derrick Jones Jr., the guy that the team invested in this offseason, was brought here to start with Kawhi. and that Kawhi wasn't up to speed. And we know that the biggest issue with the Clippers this season has been taking care of the basketball. I thought last night was a tell because at full strength, Brooklyn is a turnover forcing defense. I watched their game that they played at Portland 2 nights ago, and when the Nets are a slow-paced team because of how particular they are in the half court. They're a DHO heavy team, but when they force turnovers, they really that's how they separated from the Trailblazers. And you saw in that first quarter, the Clippers had some issues with the pressure that Portland was applying. Like those guys, I mean, Tosan Uwoma was wearing James Harden's warm up last night. You know what I'm saying? Like there was one play where James literally shoved Tosan to the floor because of the ball pressure, and they called the foul on Tosan. Like, but they still started Kawhi in that game, and you saw the difference in Kawhi last night versus Kawhi, the first few games. Like the first few games, Kawhi was like, "I'm just going to run to the corner, and Chris Dunn is going to be that release valve." Well, when the release valve is Kawhi Leonard is different, and that's how they are. It's basketball. Who's your primary playmaker? James Harden. Who are the guys that you're looking to get the ball to? It's Kawhi and it's Norm. And now with Kawhi actually stepping into that role that he always should be in, like there's less of a need for another ball handling guard.
Law, you cut out there for a second. You still got me?
Yeah. You still got me?
Yeah, we're good. So Coach Lou post game, I think gave you a little bit of credit for trying to be slick with that question, asking about if Kawhi Leonard would have played in the fourth quarter if the game was, I don't know, not completely out of reach and the Clippers weren't up by 64 at one point last night. How long do you expect him to be around 25 minutes, as last night he finished at 24?
I mean, I don't even try and be slick. I do my job, he does his job, and Kawhi does his job. I think that's all that is. I gotta ask.
No doubt.
I mean, somebody's got to ask, and might as well be me.
It was a great question.
Look, I knew when T. Lou said what he said, what the objective of the game was and what the roster the Nets were bringing in. Like, okay, cool. Kawhi's going to get a relaxation of the minute restriction. We're not going to learn a whole lot if they blow the Nets out. And it will end up being the biggest blowout you have ever seen in a Clippers game. Okay? So what did we learn exactly from a minute standpoint? Well, we learned that he went from 20 to 24 minutes. That's it. So the question now is, Kawhi didn't just get an increase with his minutes. He played like Kawhi Leonard for the first time, right? He didn't play like Derrick Jones Jr. last night. No disrespect to DJ, but we know what DJ's role is in the offense, and Kawhi was looking like that before last night. So now with 3 days off, with more minutes, with the fact that you look and see Kawhi playing like Kawhi, does he play in the fourth quarter against the Los Angeles Lakers in a game they absolutely need, also knowing that he likely won't play the following night against the Chicago Bulls because of the back-to-back? That's what I'm looking forward to as soon as Sunday.
Yeah, it's a monumental game. But before that, they're taking on the Blazers tonight. What's something they have to be concerned with this Blazers team that actually just lost to Brooklyn?
It's the same thing every night, Adam, taking care of the basketball. And the other thing is Portland is going to crash. They know what kind of offense they are. They know they give the ball away and don't do a great job of making shots. But those when they care and play with energy, where Portland is really attentive is on the offensive glass. So when the Clippers are locked in, they do a good job on the defensive glass. They allowed 15 offensive rebounds last night to Brooklyn, but you're not as upset with that because Brooklyn missed 70% of their shots last night. Like, there's going to be offensive rebounds. Well, Portland's going to probably miss a bunch of shots. And the Clippers have not played well on the second night of back-to-backs. They're going to have to do the job on the offensive glass or to prevent offensive rebounds. And really, they should probably be looking to try and get some offensive rebounds themselves. Portland's a terrible defensive rebounding team. Portland is a terrible ball handling team. Portland's actually one of the two teams in the NBA with the worst turnover percentage than the Clippers are. And so that's the battle. I'm just looking strictly at possessions. You might miss shots. You might make shots. There's talent differentials, whatever. When the Clippers take care of the possession battle, if they do that tonight, they'll win the game. It's going to be tough. I am not in Portland tonight. I can tell you, I don't envy the Clippers. That is a tough flight up there. That is a tough back-to-back, and it's going to be a grind. And so it's not going to be easy. They're going to have to focus and lock in, and that means the mental part of things. Focus on taking care of the glass and focus on taking care of the basketball.
He is La Murray of The Athletic, Clippers reporter. Follow him at La Murray VNU. Make sure to subscribe to The Athletic for great analysis like you just heard here on Clippers Countdown. La, we'll see you at the Dome on Sunday, my friend. Be safe.
Hey, thank you. Enjoy the game.
Coming up next, an NBA out-of-town scoreboard. Clippers and Blazers tip-off 17 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Blazers from Moda Center tipping off 15 minutes from now. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we got Carlo Jimenez. But first, let's get your drive around the league. Brought to you by Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electrics, and even fuel cell electric vehicles. So you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. Earlier in the association, the Suns, still without Nick Richards, their big move at the big man position. Didn't play in this one, but won anyways over the Wizards 130-123 in DC. Devin Booker with 37 points in the win. Pacers were victorious in Detroit 111-100. Pascal Siakam, Spicy P with 26, 7, and 7. And in a game that's pretty much over. And I didn't think I'd be saying that. With 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Thunder are up 132-109. They're about to improve to 34-6 as they are beating up the Cleveland Cavaliers, who beat them just about a week ago back in Cleveland. These are the teams with the two top records in the league, and the Thunder don't even have Isaiah Hartenstein tonight. No Chet Holmgren, of course, and they lead 132-109 over the Cavs at home. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has 40 and 8 assists. Coming up next, back to your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez from Portland. Clippers and Blazers tipping off 14 minutes from now, right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Blazers from Portlandia. I'm Adam Oslin. Tip-off 10 minutes from now. Coming up, your keys to victory. But first, back out to your radio voice of the Clippers from Moda Center. That would be Carlo Jimenez, as we were just texting back and forth. If you're watching on the YouTube side, you might have seen that. At Clippers Talk is where you can find it. So, Carlo, this Portland Blazers team, they lost to a different version of that Brooklyn Nets team the other night that had more of the star power they do contain. But this Clippers team did lose to the Portland Trail Blazers by 1 earlier in the season, back when they couldn't win at Intuit Dome. What do they have to be concerned about tonight?
Yeah, Adam, also check your text, by the way. Saying something important. This is a Portland team. I think Law Murray said it best. They like to crash the glass.
I'm just going to delete a tweet right now.
I'm so sorry.
Before I get old takes exposed.
So sorry.
Carlo set me up, guys. He set me up to fail.
Okay. Let me explain. Adam texts me, man's playing. Portland hands out these sheets. If you're watching on the YouTube, you can see this. A sheet that says, who's the starting lineup? Terrence Mann's name is under injury/roster notes. But next to his name, it says available. So that's why I at first I just read
clerical error.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
That's why you're absolved of any blame. You're good. You're
that might be my
You washed your hands of this one.
Probably should have read the sheet of paper they give me, but
You're good.
That's why I'm a broadcaster, not a reader.
Back to Portland.
Back to Portland. Yeah, I think Law hit it on the head. They like to crash the glass. They like to get it out in transition. And for some reason or another, Adam, Scoot Henderson has had success against this Clipper team. It's his highest points per game average against any Western Conference opponent that he's played more than 4 times. And Scoot's coming off his best game as an NBA player. 39 points last time out. Now, he did shoot 8 for 10 from 3. I'm not sure he could replicate that on another night. But for this Portland squad, they got guys who can get hot in a hurry. You think about Shaedon Sharpe, you think about Anthony Simons, you think about Scoot Henderson. Those are all guys, Adam, where they could go for 35, and I don't think anyone would be that surprised on the broadcast because that's their scoring ability. The Clippers have to play great individual defense. It's something Norman Powell talked about in their last game. When we want to elevate our defense, he said we have to look ourselves in the mirror, and each and every single one of us has to play at a higher level. That's going to be the key for the Clippers tonight, playing great individual defense.
Yeah, this Clippers team, that's what they've been doing all season long. They've hung their hat on that defensive identity. They were able to hold a team under 70 points in the modern NBA just yesterday, holding the Brooklyn Nets at Intuit Dome to 67. All right, Carlo, my player to watch, a former Portland Trailblazer in Norman Powell. He only had 18 points last night. Now, he didn't play heavy minutes, and he was still efficient out there. But his first 2 games against Portland this season, he had 30. I'm expecting something similar to that. Who's your player to watch?
Oh, man, Adam, I'm so glad you asked. My player to watch is going to be Terrence Mann. Because he's playing tonight.
Wow.
He's playing tonight.
Wow.
He's available. Give me Terrence Mann for the Clippers. No, in all seriousness, I think this would be a good game for T-Man, Adam. We saw him go out last game with a left calf soreness. Hopefully, if the Clippers can build a similar lead in tonight's contest, T-Man can get some sort of a rhythm going on the offensive end and find his flow. He's been coming back from injury, out of the lineup. Then he finally gets back to the lineup. He hurts his calf. We'll see if he can find a way to find some sort of flow to his game for this Clipper group. Would love to see him be effective and also show his defensive acumen against these talented guards for the Portland Trailblazers.
So I got a question on that wonderful sheet of yours that led us astray. Is Kevin Porter Jr. active, or is he getting a DNP-CD tonight?
You know, Adam, he's not on the sheet, so I would assume he's available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I would assume.
So we could see a much deeper rotation. Clippers on the second night of a back-to-back without Kawhi Leonard. They are going to have to dig deep into their bench. So last time out, we saw Derek Jones Jr. in the starting lineup. Are we seeing that again tonight, or is it back to Chris Dunn here, Carlo?
Adam, let me check my sheet really quick.
You got a real cheat sheet over there, Carlo.
I texted it to you, by the way. You have a photo of it in your phone.
I have an Android. It's different.
Yeah, it's a little blurry. It says Derek Jones Jr., not Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah, he is starting back in the starting lineup. Chris Dunn also in the starting lineup for Kawhi Leonard. So the Clippers going back to those pre-Kawhi day starting lineup of Harden, Zoo, Norm, Derek, and Chris tonight. One thing that's interesting about this Portland team, Adam, Robert Williams III is available for them tonight. He was out last game with a illness, and he was listed as doubtful last night, upgraded to available earlier today. He is playing. The Clippers are a top 3 team in defensive rebounding percentage. I think that's going to be tested today against Rob Williams and DeAndre Ayton. While the Blazers aren't a good rebounding team as a whole, that 5 spot is very, very strong for Portland.
Yeah, that's a great point. Everybody's going to have to board collectively for this Clippers team without the board man, including Terrence Mann, who was active for this ball game, as we found out.
Yeah,
He's been a good
available
rebounder for them over the years of going up amongst the trees at times. There has been some scuttlebutt, some talk that Ivica Zubac has not played well overall against DeAndre Ayton for whatever reason. It's not the case every time, but it has felt like that so far this season. This is a big opportunity, I think, for Big Zoo in a big spot where the Clippers could really use him, and hopefully he's at his best.
The Clippers are at their best when Ivica Zubac is effective and efficient in the painted area. You've been screaming it from the hilltop since the start of the season, but the stats tell us that that's the truth. You know, at Follow Adam A is never wrong on X, guys. Remember that, except when he's given wrong information. But for this Clipper team, Ivica Zubac, I would love to see him take this matchup personally, be effective. I will say, Adam, it's the first time this season he's wearing the Harden Volume 9s, and he's got the chrome on with the little flashy chrome on top of the black base of that shoe. So Ivica Zubac, you know, he didn't drive in the chrome Porsche like James Harden did when he debuted these shoes, but look good, feel good, play good. I think that's a good sign for your Clippers.
I hope they're not too heavy with all that chrome. He's going to have to get up to get those rebounds tonight against Portland. All right, Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Tip-off is just about 5 minutes away. Clippers and Blazers from Moda Center. And up next, we'll get to your keys to victory right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. And no more misinformation. We got you now. Clippers and Blazers tip-off moments away up in Portland. Let's get to your keys to victory. So the Portland Trail Blazers, the way they won in that one-point victory early on this season and into a dome against the Clippers was active hands and their ability to play defense and that ball pressure against the Clippers that slowed them down and kept them from getting into their offense. It made them get into it late in the shot clock. It really disrupted the Clippers. They have to be aware of that. This is a physical team in the Portland Trail Blazers. And also, in wins so far this season, you got to be aware of this. Anthony Simons in wins is shooting 9% better from the field. As he goes, typically Portland goes. He can get hot in a hurry, and it's kind of scary that he only had 11 points on 3 of 12 shooting last time out in their loss to the Brooklyn Nets at home. He's probably due. All right, here we go. It's Carlo Jimenez on the call for the Clippers and Blazers from Moda Center in Portland, and tip-off is coming up next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.